Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reaction Shots 2020.
2020.
January. The year of our Lord, January 2020. Pretty crazy.
Crazy.
We're living in the future. We're post Blade Runner 1.
That's crazy. Watching that movie like it's in the past.
Yeah, right?
That is wild.
Pretty close. It was a pretty good prediction. We have almost all that stuff.
The Earth is almost destroyed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And plus, replicants are driving all over the place in flying cars. It's a nightmare out there. Be safe. Be safe. This episode, we're talking about the last year on this episode of this year's episode.
2019. Recapping.
But before we get into that, what have you liked recently? Michael Huber. Oh, yeah, Michael Huber, by the way. I'm Ian Hink. This is Michael Huber.
I've been on an Akira Kurosawa kick, Ian.
Yeah, you have.
I've been watching some of those flicks. So I went back and I watched two of his earliest, Drunken Angel and Stray Dog.
Yeah.
And these were just Kurosawa, dude. Next level. Next level.
Yeah.
Drunken Angel was insanely good.
I haven't seen that one.
It's his first movie with there's this Japanese actor who he was in he did 15 movies with. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can picture his face, but I don't remember his name.
So Drunken Angel's the origins of that. It's like his first, not his first movie, but Kurosawa's first movie that's like his.
Right.
His vision.
They let him go for it.
Yeah. So it's just, about this young Yakuza kid in post-World War II Japan. It's like right after the war, so it's super depressing.
Yeah.
And he meets this old veteran doctor, and it's just about their relationship because the young Yakuza kid is sick.
Oh, okay.
So it's about them. It's really good. And then Stray Dog is those two same actors again. And this time the Yakuza kid plays a cop. They both play cops. Stray Dog is about this cop's gun gets pickpocketed.
Uh-oh.
So the whole movie they're trying to find the gun.
Ah.
It's a really good movie. Oh my God.
Like Disco Elysium.
It's considered one of the earliest examples of the buddy cop / police procedural genre.
That's awesome.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Buddy cops.
Yeah.
Invented by Akira Kurosawa.
Mm-hmm. So great.
I love that you've just been on. What kicked off your Kurosawa kick?
The holidays, watching old movies with my family.
Sure.
My dad, throwing on It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Just all the oldies, From Here to Eternity and whatnot. So then I was like, you know what? Kurosawa. Seen a bunch, but not in that order that I usually do with all my favorite directors, going through kind of their filmography in that specific order. So next after Stray Dog is Rashomon.
I like Rashomon.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Rashomon is really good.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ron or no?
Haven't seen Ron. Haven't seen Ron.
Ron
one of his later
ones.
Always
my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically King Lear.
Cool.
But yeah, pretty wild.
Cool.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen it since film school, probably.
Nice.
Anything else besides Kurosawa?
I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about Star Wars.
This is what have you liked recently?
Yeah, I liked the theater experience. Yeah, that's. Oh man, there were lastly, there were 3 Christmas rom-coms I watched with Beth this year.
Wait, was The Holiday one of them?
The Holiday.
Because I like that movie. That's Kate Winslet,
no,
Jude Law,
no,
Jack Black.
It was not this year.
Right.
No, we did 3 new ones. We did The Night, KNIGHT Before Christmas with Vanessa Hudgens.
I watched a commentary on that one.
Okay.
Which seemed pretty funny.
Okay. That was good. And then there was one other one. Oh, it was Let It Snow.
I don't know that one.
This one's really good. This is like a teenage, coming of age Christmas dramedy. This one was actually a really good just movie.
Is it Netflix also?
It is Netflix.
Okay.
It has Tom Holland's best friend in Spider-Man. Ned.
The man in the chair?
Yep, the man in the chair. He's the man in the chair. And Isabella, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she was
Rossellini.
Rosalie?
Wait,
no,
really?
No.
I was like, what? What is this movie?
Mona Mare or something. She was in
one
of the Transformers and Dora the Explorer.
Oh, okay.
Really good movie. And then lastly...
Is she Dora the Explorer?
In the new Dora.
Yeah.
She plays Dora, yeah.
Okay. I can picture her then, yeah. And like around the same age as the man in the chair.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's like high school thing.
Yeah.
Really good. And then lastly...
Though a movie between that guy from Spider-Man and Isabella Rossellini would be pretty wild. It'd be pretty weird. I'd watch that. Anyway, sorry.
What even would that be?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
And then lastly, Noelle on Disney Plus.
Oh.
With Anna Kendrick, Bill Hader.
I've never seen it.
Dude.
I don't watch a lot of Christmas movies, I find.
Nor does Beth.
Muppet Christmas Carol, Scrooged. Those are my like standbys, you know.
This was the year I was like, we're doing it. We're doing this. She's like, all right, whatever. And she liked all of them. I was like, all right, cool.
I like how you were the one who was, yeah.
That's how I usually, it's really funny, dude. She loves rom-coms, but at the same time, I'm the one who's usually like, hey, you want to watch a rom-com? You know, like.
Well, check out The Holiday.
Yeah. I think she's seen that one. She's seen them all.
She's probably seen it.
Yeah.
It's
but yeah,
a good
Noelle
one.
was really good.
Noelle.
It's like my Christmas canon now. I don't want to spoil anything. But like that movie is like real life canon for me. I'm just like, yo, this is how it is.
Like that's the story of Christmas for you?
Yeah, Noelle.
It's a Bill Hader movie?
Is my canon, yeah.
On
And
Disney
Anna Kendrick.
Plus.
Yep.
When did it come out?
This year.
What?
All three of those movies I just said were this year. That's why I watched them. Yeah, they're all 2019. Great year for Christmas.
I hadn't even
movies.
heard of the latter two. Mm-hmm. That's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, that's it.
I saw Cats in theaters. and
was that? Wait, first of all, how many people were in the theater?
Let me think.
What was the vibe?
I can probably do an actual count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there were 3 of us. So between like 11 and 14 people, probably there might have been like a couple of people.
Good
Alamo
crowd.
Draft House. You know, people had beers. I had some food. I had chicken fingers, you know, with fries. Alamo Draft House, by the way, great movie-going experience. 4 movies that you're not like, you know, like I wouldn't go see The Lighthouse and want like a waiter coming through it partway through. They don't talk, but it's great. But anyway, like, oh man, the energy in the room was perfect. It was like electric, confused, terrified. I've never seen Cats the musical. I like musicals a lot. I'm familiar with a decent number of musicals, but like, my God, I can't even wrap my head around this as a musical, let alone as a movie.
How was Taylor Swift?
Bad, but great. Like, I mean, she's barely in it.
Oh, really?
The song that she apparently had a hand in writing was the only, like, part of that song was the only song that I liked.
Got it.
The rest of the musical was, like, real weird and strange.
Yeah.
And, like, cacophonous.
Because did she make an original song and then all the other songs are from Cats?
Yeah. Essentially, Andrew Lloyd Webber is credited on the song also. So I think they wrote it together and then
maybe a remix or something.
In the actual musical, a different character sings the one. There's the only phrase I really liked is where they go like, beautiful ghost. Like that little part.
Got it.
I was like, that's pretty. The rest of it, like even Memory in this, like is usually the catchiest song, but like she sings it with so much emotion and snot all over her face that it's like it kind of takes away from it. It's weird. It's supposed to be like this emotional payoff, but it doesn't land because it's like too emotional.
Yeah.
For the character, I don't know. It was very strange, and you don't understand. Like, I barely understood any of the characters, what was happening. Like. The musical is insane. It's just the poems of T.S. Eliot, I think, not changed like at all.
Is Cats.
What?
Is Cats.
Yeah.
Is T.S. Eliot's poems? Because I know
Andrew
nothing
Lloyd
about
Webber.
Cats.
Andrew Lloyd Webber took the poems of, I believe, T.S. Eliot.
Okay.
About jellicle cats. Don't ask.
Okay.
And just put the poems as lyrics into the songs, and from what I can understand, didn't really even change them at all, though he should have.
So it's borderline nonsensical.
Yeah, and it's like, but the musical structure is just cats introducing themselves, and that's what I'd say 90% of the songs are. I think there are 3 songs, maybe 4, that aren't just a cat introducing themselves. And there is no plot moving forward during these introductory songs, typically. It's so weird. Put on top of that, like, take this like fevered nightmare dream of a musical and then put on top of it the worst CG and craziest effects you've ever seen. Like some of the stuff that should have even gone right, like the scale of the characters, is so inconsistent, it's mind-blowing.
I love that in video games, Ian, when you stand next to a car.
Yeah.
And it's just so wrong.
And it's like half the size of like twice the size of your character.
It's either like 3 times as big or like half the size.
Yeah, you're like, how big am I? Am I a child? But yeah, like there's one scene where they're like 4 inches tall dancing on a railroad thing. And then there's like, it literally immediately cuts to them on a train and they're like 3 or 4 feet tall because they're coming up to the bottom of the windows on the doors. And it's just like, literally 2 seconds ago, you were small enough to fit entirely on a rail of a train as a cat. They were like the size of mice on this railroad thing. Rail. The whole movie's like that. Like, the look on my face the whole time was just like, it was like similar to when I was watching the 3rd movie of Berserk, Golden Arc, where I was just like bewildered and didn't believe what I was seeing and like disturbed, but I was having a blast.
Sounds like episode 9.
I didn't have as much fun in episode 9. Episode 9, I couldn't really divorce myself from being confused about how any of this was possible and like why any of it was happening. We don't need to get into Star Wars too heavily because who cares anymore? I'm so tired of hearing about Star Wars. I don't care.
I'm tired.
I love Mandalorian.
I haven't finished it yet. I'm like 2 backs.
Mandalorian and Watchmen are probably like the best thing that happened this year. Yeah. I would say. Yeah. And oh baby, Expanse, season 4. I'm like 3 or 4 episodes into that. Woo-wee!
0 episodes into the new season.
I love me some Expanse.
Hell yeah.
There's a really funny, weird... They got Kevin Smith, because you saw seasons 1 through 3, right? Uh-huh. They have Kevin Smith like recap the entire show on Amazon. It's like a 15 minute video of Kevin Smith like re-explaining
That's smart.
the entirety of Expanse for you. Very essential, I would say.
Really smart, yeah.
Because like
we watched a while and sci-fi, the Switch networks. Yeah, very cool.
And Omar and I watched like the first 15 minutes of the first episode, and like there was a character or two where we were like, wait, who is that?
It's funny, when Beth and I left episode 9, we were talking about it. We had a good time or whatever. As a movie, it's fun.
Yeah.
As a Star Wars movie, it's garbage. But then we saw
and as a finale, it's trash.
That's what I mean, mostly. Yeah. As we're driving home, we see an Expanse billboard.
Yeah.
And I just point up and I'm like, that's that real sci-fi.
That's actual sci-fi.
That's that real. She's like, dude, when can we watch
thoughtful human beings.
He's like, please watch The Expanse, everyone.
Please watch The Expanse.
One of the best science fiction shows of all time.
If you want actual sci-fi that doesn't treat you like a dumbass, watch The Expanse.
So good.
How did our guys like
what I bought?
Star Wars on that spoiler mode?
What? I have no idea. I thought of you.
They
you know what
loved it.
You know what I bought Beth for Christmas?
Huh.
You'll be happy about this.
I've never been happy before, but try me.
Neuromancer.
Yeah.
Wow.
As like a book.
As a book.
Love
Paperback.
It. Love it.
Yeah.
William Gibson book.
Yep.
Kind of invented cyberpunk.
Yep. So I thought of you.
I mean, pretty much straight up invented cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
His debut novel, they say.
That whole little cycle. What is it? The Sprawl trilogy? Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I was looking into it because she loves sci-fi. And
they're good.
That's one of like her holes for books, sci-fi books. She's read so much of it. But in terms of the classics, like William Gibson is the last. Like,
Yeah. He there's a book of his I like called The Peripheral that's getting a sequel soonish. Is that out already? I should check.
William Gibson's cool, right? Is he?
I don't know. I don't know. When he saw the Cyberpunk trailer, he was pretty nonplussed, I think. He was like, it's just GTA with 80s buzz cuts.
That's really funny though.
And he was like, this isn't Cyberpunk.
That's really funny.
And I was like, yeah.
I'm always cool with that kind of criticism when a creator comes in and they're just like,
I mean, I don't know if he's I assume he's chill. I don't know. I think the new book he has accidentally takes place in a parallel universe because it has, in the reality of that book, Hillary Clinton was the president. And I think he started writing it before the election, so he just kind of assumed, and then it was too late, so he's like, well, I guess it's a parallel universe now. I don't know. Anyway, William Gibson. Hopefully he's not a D-bag because I like his books. Oh, anyway, The Peripheral, though, he had a funny comment about it because apparently what he does is he makes the first chapter of his books slightly more obtuse and difficult as like a trial by fire, because it's like, if you don't like this, you're not going to like the rest of the book.
That is really interesting.
So it's a really funny...
That's just with that book, not all of them?
He was commenting on that book, but I think it's his style for all of them is what he was saying. But it's like, he basically makes the first chapter like, look, if you don't like this, you're going to have a bad time. Just get out. Just bail.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I sort of like it.
Seems like kind of a David Lynch kind of guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd get along.
I wonder. I watched a 4.5 hour breakdown, like explanation, true meaning, whatever video of Twin Peaks.
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours. Someone on Twitter recommended it. It's by Twin Perfect.
It's longer than The Irishman.
Yeah, probably better too. I'm just teasing. I only saw like the first part of The Irishman in a loud room, so it was not the best setting for The Irishman. But man,
that's so long.
Yeah, well, it was good because
did it fill in the blanks for you?
Well, I didn't feel as though any blanks were left unfilled. Though this thing, and I'm not going to say any of his interpretation, but like their interpretation, I was like, wow, you're probably right.
Cool.
It was really interesting. So it definitely changed my perception of the show to some extent. Like I knew like, you know, I had figured some stuff that he had already said. I was like, obviously this is about this, but like, yeah, it was pretty wild.
Nice.
And then I went back to watch some of that channel's earlier videos and not as good. Like their Silent Hill stuff.
Got it.
They used the R word a few times. I didn't care for that. But it was like 2010, but still no excuse.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about 2019. Beep-boo.
Let's do it.
Beep-boo. Got a lot of really good comments for this, so probably how we're going to frame this is we'll just go through the comments that we got from the patrons on the $7 and up tier.
Great.
It's kind of what we usually do for episodes like this. I think it works. It's a fun structure, but
we have
also
a lot this time, right?
We have a lot.
So
I'm going to try to get everybody.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief.
Well, don't try to keep it brief,
just on
but
some things.
Yeah. No worries, but cool. Yeah, and I'll probably abbreviate a lot of these comments, whatever. And if I miss you, I'm sorry, but I think I got everybody in here pretty much. Let's begin. Brian Cause. So the first question I asked,
Cosm.
Some say Cosm. It's funny because before the episode I was like, I should remember to say that every time. And then you did it. I didn't even have to. What is your favorite movie of 2019 is the prompt for this section. So imagine a little title card in your mind that says The Favorite. Anyway, Brian Cause, in my heart, my favorite movie of this year was Terminator Dark Fate. Terminator has been my favorite property for the majority of my life, so it was extremely satisfying to get a movie where Terminators are actually cool in my lifetime. It's a movie where you can tell the director was like, hell yeah, man, Terminators, kick ass. And it resonates with me deeply. That said, the best good movie I saw this year was Uncut Gems. It's stylish, it's panic-inducing, it's a wonderful mess. So I didn't see Terminator, but I saw Uncut Gems.
Dude, Uncut Gems is a very noisy movie. Holy shit.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked it a lot.
Uncut Gems is a weird one for me because, like, I can obviously, like, objectively, like, putting my critique brain on.
Yeah. You hate these type of people.
It's a very good movie. Yeah, that's my thing is, like, I loved it as a movie. Like, it's so naturalistic, and the way it's shot and acted and written is all above board. Really, really good. But my enjoyment of this movie was almost none because...
Stressed?
I was stressed but more annoyed because, like, and this is a me thing, like, completely a me thing. Like, I've noticed this in myself where my tolerance for characters who are just destroying themselves with bad decisions is almost none. Yeah. I prefer No Country for Old Men where it's like, maybe they make one bad choice and then are just trying to deal with the fallout. Like they're a normal person just trying to get through it. Mm-hmm. And I want to make a disclaimer. Like I know that this movie is dealing with like gambling addiction, like addiction kind of stuff. And it's like in real life, I want to support people who are struggling with those kinds of things.
But as an entertainment product,
it's not my favorite. Because as a fictional character, I'm just like, dude, what do you want from me? Like, I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah.
I can't really care about you.
I know.
Like, you're not my friend. Like, I'm not going to drive you to, a meeting and help you out. Like, I don't care, dude. Like,
I usually care about the people around the self-destructive
Right,
people
right.
that try to,
Yeah.
Well, like Adina Menzel.
You talk about Uncut Gems, because that's just my weird take.
No, I totally get that. I totally get it. So many times you're just like, dude, don't
do the right thing.
Exactly. And I think you did nail it though about just addiction. Like he couldn't help himself.
That's just not how his mind works.
You know. But yeah, I really like the movie. It is such an uncomfortable movie in so many ways.
From the word go.
There's just so much crosstalk,
Yeah.
dude. You want to watch one of our wild streams? Like that's what this movie is. Just
it's like it cashes in on like the Robert Altman like school of filmmaking, but like in the modern age. Like it's so much just like naturalistic speech, people talking over each other. It's so well done.
So realistic.
It's such an impressive movie from a naturalistic standpoint. I really enjoyed it for that.
Totally.
But I was just like, God, I hate this guy the whole time.
Yeah. I thought there's like Kevin Garnett subplot I thought was
so funny.
Hilarious and awesome that they got like Kevin Garnett to do this. So
And I always love seeing what's his name? The guy from Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah. God, he's amazing.
I love seeing him and stuff. He's really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And cuz
he's in Get Out for a bit.
Atlanta. Yeah.
He's
because his character in this too, but every character in Uncut Gems, everyone feels just so natural and real, and like their behavior, like that
his
awkward,
wife and his mistress were both such realistic characters.
Everyone's behavior is so realistic.
Yeah.
It's weird because his behavior is so frustrating.
Yeah.
And and you can tell it's weird to come into a movie where every character is at their wit's end already with the main character. Like before the movie even starts, everyone is done with this guy.
Yeah, that enough.
And it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, what a jerk.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I liked it a lot more than Good Time, actually. Good
Yeah.
Time I saw after the fact at home. Didn't get to see it in the
I saw,
theater.
yeah.
I thought Good Time was just okay. I thought Uncut Gems was great. Mm-hmm. What was the first one we were talking about? Terminator.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, did you love Terminator?
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Nowhere in the pantheon of Terminator 1 or 2 in my mind.
Naturally.
But very fun and the best of all the Terminators that have come after too. For sure.
Yeah, I intended to see it and I just it didn't time out right.
Yeah.
There were a few like that. My blind spots, the blind spots I was aware of this year, the one I really, really wanted to see was Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yeah.
And I missed that one. It was in theaters for like a week and a half, and I was out of town for holidays.
It's coming back, I think, in a week or two.
Well, there were 2 screenings this week at Landmark, but they're both sold out.
Got it.
I looked at the one on Friday, and there were 2 seats, front row corner. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to watch
Uncut
it.
Gems was the first time I had to sit next to a stranger in like 10 years in a movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went and it was sold out.
Wow.
I just went with a buddy of mine. Didn't go with Beth. Went with a buddy. She was working. I went with my friend. And I was like, it's always awkward because like, when I go with my wife, we have our system. We sit in the back right corner.
Yeah.
We buy the tickets like 5 minutes before the movie starts so we can sit away from everyone.
Uh-huh.
My friend is just like, hey, I'll buy the tickets, whatever. I'm like, all right. He's like, all right, let's go to this random theater. I'm like, all right.
This is your nightmare.
Yeah. So I'm like sitting next to him. People come in and they like sit next to me. And I turn to my friend. I'm like, I can't sit next to strangers. So then I go to his other side. And then it's like straight out of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Other people come piling in. So I'm just like sitting next to these strangers, and it was like a middle-aged woman, and it was perfect.
Okay.
She was fine. She didn't say a word. She didn't like tap or like didn't even think about her.
Nobody looked at their phone?
Nobody looked at their phone. In fact, Ian, I was so pumped because I went up to go to the restroom one time, and I left. And as I'm coming back, I see her, because she must have gone when I went. to cause less disruption. So then when I get back, she's kind of standing there waiting for me to get back. Because then I come in, and then she comes in right behind me.
She's
and
a
I was
pro,
like, this
dude.
is a professional
This is
moviegoer.
great. Yeah. Be like that lady.
It was like I was causing more disruption than she was.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. Sorry, everyone.
You've become the villain, Huber.
This is pretty funny.
So we're on great pace right now for talking about all of these movies. And
One question down.
Yeah.
Shit.
We talked about that for like 7 minutes. Okay. Jeremy Tanner says Parasite is my favorite movie this year, with a close second being Under the Silver Lake. A few people mentioned Under the Silver Lake, and I thought that was 2018.
Me too.
But I loved that movie, so we're going to count it.
Cool. Could have been one of those limited.
I think it was. I think
It's
it was like
1917 is technically 2019, but it's like worldwide.
not out, and even Tokyo Slim hasn't seen. Actually, that's my other blind spot. I haven't seen it yet either. I might go see it this week.
Nice.
I heard it's cool. Anyway, Under the Silver Lake has a ton of secrets hidden in the background and has a subreddit devoted to solving the mystery. And I think that's increased my enjoyment of the movie to being second best for me this year.
That's always fun.
I really liked that. Have you seen that movie yet? I really liked that movie. It's on Amazon.
You and Matt were talking about it.
I love it. Yeah, Matt's friend made it. I'm
That's
so
awesome.
jealous.
It's cool.
Matt Hastings, Jojo Rabbit, hands down. I laughed, I cried. Taika is quickly becoming one of my favorite filmmakers. Did you see Jojo? I saw Jojo. I liked it. There were definitely moments where I was like a little nervous. You know, I was like, oh, can we make jokes about Hitler? Like this is you know, but I think all in all the main point of the movie is really solid, and I don't want to say too much because it's a fun movie, but I enjoyed it.
Nice.
It wasn't one of my favorites I think this year, but I really liked it, and the kids do really well, and the acting is all really good.
That's always nice when the kids are good.
Yeah. Another movie where if you are a connoisseur of the filmic language, you can see things coming pretty far in advance.
Got it.
But it didn't really bother me in this one. In fact, I was sort of happy that I predicted a few things in advance because I won't say what. But Virtual Self 11 says, love and respect from Spain. First time posting here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello, Spain.
Thank you for posting. I intend to visit Spain someday. I hear it's beautiful.
Yeah. I went to Portugal, but not Spain.
It's close by, but
close. Yeah. So I want to go.
I intend to go to Barcelona someday.
For sure.
Anyway, favorite. Tie between Parasite and Midsummer. I find Parasite a better movie, but Midsummer is the one that stuck with me the most. Also, the best thing I have watched this year is Mr. Robot Final Season, without a doubt. Best TV show of my life.
Why are you going off the air for 2 years, Mr. Robot?
Wait, is it done or is it?
This is the final season just ended.
Okay.
Bastards.
I got too stressed out by that show. I want to finish it, but I got too stressed out.
Dude, like whenever you take a 2-year break and then
they took a
2-year break and then you come back on the USA network that nobody friggin' has. Like who has cable anymore?
Nobody.
Like I cut my cable. Finally did it.
Yeah? Wait, you hadn't?
Dodgers.
I cut the cord. Oh, right. You like sports.
Yeah.
I cut the cord like 15 or more years ago, I think.
Nice. Yeah, so I just waiting for that to come on Netflix. Or whatever the hell, but yeah, final season.
Funny story.
I'm very jealous.
My cousin has 2 kids who are like 7 and 6 or whatever. And, you know, I never see ads, you know, because I've got YouTube Premium, whatever, and whatever. And, you know, Netflix, Amazon, I don't watch TV really.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I take for granted that some kids who have parents like us who have cut the cord and don't have traditional TV have probably never even seen ads. So like his little kids were watching a movie on Disney Channel or whatever, or not Disney Channel, but whatever, in the hotel. And then they come running in and they're like, Dad, our show, there's something wrong. And he's like, what? And he walks in there and commercials are playing.
That's so funny.
And they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what that was.
Wow.
They thought their show just switched to something else in the middle and was broken.
Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. Oh, yeah, Kappa. Fuck shit ass. There we go. This isn't for kids. We're covered.
Got it.
Sorry about the swearing. Tim O'Keefe. Favorite movie, The Farewell. Just found the whole movie to be so charming and emotional, and I love the different mix of cultures, the views on death, etc. Absolutely worth watching.
Hell of a movie.
Really?
I loved that movie.
I didn't have the strength.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go watch a movie about dying.
Heavy duty.
Yeah.
But good. Dude.
She won a Golden Globe last night. Yeah.
Dude, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just a good movie.
Yeah.
You should watch it. Like it.
Someday I'll watch it. I got my cool down is still going on
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Silent Consonant. My favorite movie was probably Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Forgot about that shit.
Me too. It really just worked for me on every level. However, the best movie I saw was probably Knives Out. I think that was one of the most rewarding experiences I've had in the theater this year. The movie just worked for me on every way possible, even if it was a bit on the predictable side. I also really liked Knives Out. It's one of my faves of this year, I think.
I haven't seen shit.
You haven't seen Knives Out?
Dude, I was sick for a month. And
Yeah. Knives Out is fun. It's still in a few theaters. You should try to check it out.
That in 1917 for sure.
Yeah, 1917 I got to see.
Tops.
And if Portrait of a Lady on Fire comes out at a time when
I did see it, that it's coming soon, I swear.
Again?
To like wider release.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah.
good, because I
Yeah.
really, really want to see that. Matthew Walden actually said it was one of his favorite of the year, so I really need to see it.
Is that the one Under the Silver Lake? Is the one from the...
Under the Silver Lake
Follows?
is directed by the It Follows
Okay.
guy. Yeah.
And Portrait of a Lady on Fire is from...
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got it.
I don't know. But Knives Out is good.
Cool.
A little predictable, yeah, but it's kind of fun.
Okay.
It scratches the Clue itch.
Nice.
After we watched it, we went back to my house and watched Clue.
That's fun. If you're looking for a good caper.
Yeah.
Mystery, I mean.
A Why Done It.
Yeah.
Colt Smith. Definitely a tie between The Lighthouse and Knives Out. Did you see Lighthouse?
I did see The Lighthouse.
Okay, hang on. We'll talk about Lighthouse in a second. Both are just fantastic in their own way. I'd even say Godzilla King of the Monsters is right up there too. Haven't had a chance to see Portrait of a Lady on Fire or Little Women. I haven't seen Little Women yet either. That's on my list. But they'd probably end up there too. What'd you think of The Lighthouse? I think we talked about it in a past episode a little bit.
I think we did. I loved it. Yeah. I don't... Honestly, Ian, I'm still unsure.
Yar.
For The Lighthouse? For The Lighthouse?
What made you want to be a wiki?
Yeah, like, while I was watching it, I was unsure. When I went home that night, I was unsure. A month later, sitting here, I'm unsure.
Which is kind of great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of good, right?
So it's like, I love that movie. But, like, I don't know why. I don't even know what the hell to say about it. Like, I don't know what to take away from it.
Yeah.
It was just very strange and bizarre and good. It was good. I just, again, I don't really know what the hell when it was over. Like,
I really admire that director. Like, he really does seem to have a singular voice, and like the projects he's been doing. I mean, I think this is his second movie, like The Witch and then this.
Yeah.
Both of which I think are really impressive and great, and like the sort of historical fiction bent that he takes with this kind of folkloric, weird ass like stories that he likes to do.
So
just
weird.
Really great. I love it. I had hoped it was gonna go a little more like
Cosmic,
crazy and cosmic.
A little. Me too.
But that was my own. I was bringing that in myself, so it's like that's on me more than the movie
for sure. I think that would have helped it though in terms of entertainment value.
Going a little crazier would have been nice.
Yeah, because it was entertaining the whole way through, but in a very dry way.
Yeah.
I guess there's different types and different levels of entertainment. So, yeah, I don't know if it's one that I would watch again. Maybe once, but it's not something like It Chapter 1 where I'm going to like, this is a movie I'm going to go back and watch like every couple of years because I love it so much, I guess.
The Lighthouse, definitely I've watched like Willem Dafoe's crazy monologue from the middle a couple of times on YouTube.
And he's just so fun to watch.
So amazing. Yeah, he's just so good. Morgan Mahala says, seeing Avengers Endgame in theaters this year may have ruined all other movies for me because the energy of the audience was electric. Cheers, gasps, applause, all in unison with the culmination of 20-plus movies, and typically other people's distracting behavior in the theater drives me crazy. I just can't imagine something else topping it in the foreseeable future.
No.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything topping it for so long.
That's how you finish a thing. That's how you top off a franchise right there.
Yeah. There is nothing like it. And I'm grateful to be alive and to have been able to experience it because it's our generation's Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Like hearing,
you might be right. Yeah.
I was reading a really interesting thing about Rise of Skywalker and just how there was no like energy in the theater when this reviewer saw it.
Yeah.
And he was like, obviously there's so much nostalgia with Star Wars. He was just talking about when he was a kid seeing Return of the Jedi and people like standing up and like cheering at some Vader shit that goes, you know, like, there's just none of that. And I think Avengers Endgame like had that in spades.
Yeah.
It was just paying off.
Definitely had the payoffs. Also just like proof that planning is important. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you can't rush it. You know, I compare it to the DC universe.
Oh, yeah.
And they tried to just like, hey, let's have an Avengers Endgame right now. Like, let's have Avengers. Boom.
Yeah. You can't make a trilogy as a reaction to other things, be it the fan base or the previous movie or anything like that. You have to have a plan and stick to it and trust that you know better than the audience what you're making because they don't know what you're making.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that the same company owns Marvel and Star Wars.
Feige, dude. Kevin Feige.
I know, dude. Favreau has proven with Mandalorian that he can plan things out. Like, they should just give him the trilogy.
Have them team up again. Like, let's.
Yeah, jeez, whatever. Happy Gaming. Unfortunately, many of the movies I saw in 2019 were actually from 2018, but the movie I loved was definitely Parasite.
Nice.
I really liked Parasite. Did you see Parasite?
I loved Parasite.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it as much as I wanted to.
Same. I think for me it was a victim of
was.
like 8 people saying, "Oh, it's the best movie ever.
It
it's the best movie of the year."
Totally.
Like before I saw it. And I also intentionally didn't know anything about it.
Totally.
And knowing like a few of his previous movies, I didn't know how like out there it was going to get.
There's just always those. Tell me if you agree with this. I feel like there's always these movies that are under the radar that are amazing.
Yeah.
Case in point, Parasite, right?
Right.
This under the radar, pay attention to this. They get so overhyped because they take so long to get released.
Right.
You know, people see them on the indie circuit.
They see him at TIFF.
They see him there.
Yeah.
And these movies get so overhyped, and people, I think, just love saying, like, hey, nobody's seen this movie and it's the best ever. There's that kind of, like, hey, everyone.
Right.
So, like, I do think Parasite was a victim of that, whatever that early, because, like, I love hype, but there's, like, a different kind of hype. I don't know, where it's, like, exclusive hype in a way, maybe. Like, hey, I've seen this, and it's not available for anybody to see yet.
Right.
So,
well, but like talking about the film itself, like to its credit, some of the best characters, best like introduction of characters that I've seen in a movie in a very long time. Like you're like, okay, I get these people, I'm on board. Yeah. I sympathize.
Look at that Wi-Fi.
Even though they're doing stuff that's like sketch, I'm rooting for them kind of. And then like when it gets into the like weird class politics that it gets into, it's like, okay, this is really fascinating how like what seems like they look upon themselves as the lowest caste, but then they meet these people and then they put themselves above them. And it's like, okay, what are we saying here? Yeah. And it's funny because I saw it in a fairly large group, and the group was split down the middle pretty much, or at least 2 or 3 people had the opposite read of the majority of my group, where they thought it was actually saying like the wrong thing about class dynamic and like that it was anti like poor people or whatever, which was interesting because I was like, that wasn't my read. My read was more like, the point is like everyone in every class is just doing what they think is best for themselves.
Totally, because one of the best characters, Ian, was the main mother of the rich house.
Yeah.
So good.
She was amazing, yeah.
So amazing.
And it's like...
But it's like she kind of did some bad things,
right.
too. And
my takeaway is like no matter where you see yourself or how you fit into the wealth dynamic, I think you're going to be cutthroat in certain ways, and I think that's what it was trying to say. But like they thought it was saying like that the main family was like
the victims or something.
Ruthless and like shouldn't be trusted and like was bad, you know. And I was like, well, I didn't really paint the rich family that well either in my eyes. Like
subtlety.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. It's which I like. Like I like movies that make people talk about stuff like that.
Yeah, because the
really
dad of the rich family was like seemed like a good dad. He loved his kids, if I remember correctly. He loved his kid hanging out, out in the when they're
definitely but definitely like looks down on people even though he acts like he doesn't. You know,
sure.
It's kind of like
for sure
when he does the smell thing.
Yeah.
Interesting movie. Very interesting movie.
Guaranteed one of those movies that I'll love 10 times more when I see it again.
Yeah.
No hype.
Yeah.
Can watch it with a better eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. If you haven't seen his movie Mother, not to be confused with Darren Aronofsky's Mother.
Correct.
Very different
No
film.
exclamation point
Yeah.
on this Mother.
But that movie is
and the host.
so good. Still need to see the host. I really want to see it. But yeah, his Bong Joon-ho, right?
Mm-hmm.
His Mother is so good. Noah Weinstein. I think the best time I had at the movie theater this year, or possibly ever, was Endgame. Yeah. I feel weirdly guilty about it, mostly because the Disney monopoly is so scary, but it did everything it set out to do. It nailed the vision so well, it was a little astounding. Portals! I think there could be a lot of value in seeing certain movies, especially mass-produced ones, such as the MCU, as more of a social experience than a film, in a good way. Almost like, well, a theme park.
Totally.
Also, shout out to Alita and It Chapter 2 for being my trash TM. Bill Hader can and must EGOT. I love Bill Hader.
Alita was fucking amazing.
I
cut out Hugo.
Yeah, that's my thing. I straight up want to do a re-edit and just cut Hugo out of that movie entirely.
Cut Hugo out. Love Alita. Please, please let there be a sequel. We need one more shot.
Yeah.
We need another shot at this.
And please just kill Hugo immediately.
Take Hugo out.
Raise the stakes by killing Hugo.
Straight out of the opening shot.
He's already been stabbed.
Cut in. He's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Boom.
No. Don't even give him a word edgewise. He has T-1000 has a sword through his head. That's how the movie starts. And
Her
Alita
yelling, Hugo!
Yeah, Alita's just like, no, how dare you? And then she just kills 50 people.
That barroom brawl is
so good.
Easily one of my favorite scenes of 2019.
And I really liked her performance. I thought she was really good in it.
Yeah.
I saw her in something else that now I can't remember what it was. But the whole time I was like, why does she look so familiar to me?
That animated Scanner Darkly style thing.
Yeah, but this one was... Oh, wait, was it that?
Oh, something she was in. I
don't know. Must have been. I saw her in something and I was like, why does she look so familiar, but I can't place her?
Glad they brought up It Chapter 2 because...
You didn't like it. Did you?
I'm probably wrong, but It Chapter 1 is to me, one of the best horror movies ever. Sorry. I love It Chapter 1. I hold it maybe a little too in high regard of It Chapter 1.
I've heard nothing but good things about It Chapter 1.
I'm obsessed with it. I love it. So I think my expectations might have been a little too high for Chapter 2. I thought 2 was a little inconsistent. Mm-hmm. I want to go back and watch it all in one go.
Sure.
But I think I had a little too high expectations. I need to go back in because
I'm not sure.
I left slightly disappointed.
I mean, I haven't seen either one because I'm too afraid. But from what I've heard, I don't think your expectations were really the problem. Nobody seemed to like 2.
Yeah, especially compared to 1. 1 was pretty. Everyone liked it. I feel like the first one, and 2 were definitely a little more divisive.
Yeah,
for sure.
Alexander Zirinov says, I've got to share my love for Season 8 of Game of Thrones because no one else will. Absolutely love that it didn't end like a typical work of fiction and shows much more realistic approach. Also, the cinematography and music were really impressive.
I mean, the story on paper is cool. This has been said a million times, but the execution
was abysmal.
I
think they didn't take the time.
No.
They could have kept the outline of everything that happened.
Which I'm fine with.
And just taken twice as long and it would have been believable, maybe.
Yeah.
There are a few things that are just too dumb, but yeah.
And that's where the big argument comes is the people defending it are like the story.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's I like the story too.
Yeah,
but
it was about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. But I just thought the way it was presented was abysmal, dude.
Yeah. Well, it just was so rushed. They didn't take... The weird thing was for a show that initially took its time. Like it took like episodes for people to get from one location to another, you know? And like there was character development and motivation and you saw the change in people. This one was just like, it was like the Cliff's Notes
and it felt
of Game of Thrones season 8.
And you, as an audience member, I felt them wanting to be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible feeling.
They wanted to go do Star Wars, and then Disney was like, you guys suck. You're fired.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, we got all this money for a Netflix show, so we're going to have to bow out of Star Wars. I'm like,
well,
I
then
doubt
they were gonna do
that's
that.
what happened.
They were going to do that Civil War thing that was controversial, and that. So it's
that would have been so stupid.
Like, what is even going on, dude? Yeah. I'm just really disappointed. I'm glad at least somebody liked Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I've never gone from loving a universe to being completely indifferent.
Yeah.
As hard as that.
Star Wars is getting pretty damn close.
Yeah.
I care about The Mandalorian, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, just disappointed.
For me personally.
Disappointed. Not even angry.
Yeah.
Like a parent.
I'm not mad. It's just, you could have been better. That's kind of my thing with the whole new Star Wars trilogy. Yeah. I keep bringing it up. I don't like talking about it, but whatever. And Game of Thrones is like possibility murder. Like when you make that choice, when you make one choice, when you make 7 just a rehash of 4 or whatever, you're killing every other possibility that you could have done that might have been better or interesting or challenging or thoughtful or planned out ahead of time or not rushed. And like,
like going from 6 to 7 is so ridiculous because you're like, didn't we like win? Where's all this coming from?
Why are we just hitting the reset button?
Why do we all of a sudden have billions of First Order Star Destroyers and no resistance, even though we just won?
Yeah, and they were like, well, like 30 years ago, whatever. Yeah. But like,
give me a break, dude. So lazy.
They had a government in place. Yeah,
so
that's
lazy.
why Mandalorian is so cool because it's like they're dealing with the New Republic as the government, and like law is sketchy and weird still, and it's.
And I don't want anyone pointing.
Way more interesting.
I don't want anyone pointing to novels or comic books.
No.
Okay, if you cannot.
If it ain't in the movies, you didn't do it.
Exactly. If you cannot convey this information in a movie.
Clearly, they don't care about that because Palpatine woke up off screen. It's trash. Yeah. But we're not talking about Star Wars.
Or Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
What?
What happened? Whatever.
So disappointing.
Would you kindly? Monos, where Apocalypse Now meets Lord of the Flies and Fitzcarraldo. Good God.
Yeah, this was playing at ArcLight for a week.
Timeless nightmare set in Latin American jungle. Amazing soundtrack by Micah Levy, who also scored Under the Skin. Oh, yeah, that was a dope soundtrack. Their favorite of the decade. Favorite film of the decade. Under the Skin was cool. It grew on me after I learned more about the process.
And the creator. Did they play The Fall in front of the Lighthouse? They didn't, right?
No, I didn't get to see that yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, dude, watch that. Please watch that short film.
I hadn't heard of Monos. This one, I've got to see it because I love Apocalypse Now and Fitzcarraldo and Lord of the Flies and everything. Sounds real intense.
Yeah.
Depressing. Zach Wojnar, my favorite movie of the year is Back Fork. It's a little indie written by, directed by, and starring Josh Stewart, going full triple threat. Huber knows him from Punisher Season 2.
Season 2.
Josh Stewart. The movie is an intimate look at the opiate crisis in West Virginia from the point of view of a blue-collar guy struggling with addiction and having trouble reaching out because of his culture of toxic masculinity.
Dude.
10 out of 10, don't skip.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, sounds really intense. I was lucky enough to interview Josh for Screen Rant, and it's one of my favorite interviews out of the 112 I've done this year.
Dude.
I counted. You don't have to read my self-serving self-shout-out if you don't want to. I do want to, Zach.
Yes.
Good job.
That's sick.
That's a lot of interviews.
I never heard of that movie.
In 1 year? 112 interviews in 1 year.
That's a lot. Every couple days.
I hadn't heard of that movie either. See, this is why I love you people. You like bring these cool new things that I hadn't even heard of. Monos and Back Fork.
Back Fork.
Gotta check them out. Oh yeah, we need to make sure we see Color Out of Space.
I haven't even heard of that one. Nicolas
Cage in a H.P. Lovecraft movie. It looks
say no more
bonkers. I'm sure it is.
Is it
awful. It's coming out like this month, which doesn't bode well for it.
Okay,
but
in
I think that the villain is just like a strange color. which I guess knowing H.P. Lovecraft is a racist piece of trash, probably don't read into that.
Shit.
But like,
shit. Yeah.
I guess.
I wonder. Maybe
I just thought of that right now.
They'll probably revise.
Yeah, hopefully
coming.
it's not like xenophobic panic kind of a storyline, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nicolas Cage.
Getting paid. Looking for that paycheck.
Looking for that paycheck.
Always.
I love Nicolas Cage, man. That guy's out of his mind. Megan Linhart. It was so hard, but it really came between The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems, and Uncut Gems took it. This film had me on the edge of my seat from the moment it began. Intense, erratic, and loud. The Safdie brothers continue to impress me. Their skill behind the camera makes for such a gripping thrill ride. Agreed. Varun Kachwaha says, John Wick, Chapter 3.
Yeah.
Absolute genre bias and not the best film, but probably my favorite of the year.
Loved number 2 a little more, so 3 was slightly...
I did prefer 2 to 3, I think, but I liked 3 also.
Yeah.
Jeremy Ferris says, I need Ian and Huber's takes on The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems.
Yeah, we
2 total out of nowhere movies that I immediately fell in love with. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you got them.
Definitely.
Adam Mulaney, favorite movie was probably Joker, which was way better than any Joker origin movie should have been. Also, Joaquin Phoenix. Holy F word.
Legit forgot about Joker.
I kind of tried to.
You know I love Batman more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect. Joker just...
Yeah,
it was like empty calories for me. It was like a bowl of popcorn or something.
It's strange. Like, yeah, I mean, I can see why a lot of people would like it. I mean, like, I do think, I mean, obviously, like, it's been talked into the ground, but, like, tone deaf thing aside, I just found it kind of boring. But I think, for me, again, it's similar to an Uncut Gems or Sid and Nancy kind of a vibe where it's like, this is just a man destroying himself, and so I can't relate, Mm-hmm. Like, Joker isn't a tragic, hero or anything, and I know he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
totally.
I don't know.
That would have been an interesting way to take it.
That's kind of
you want to come out with a crazy new Joker's tale that's never been done before, like make me sympathize with this character maybe, twist the lore a bit. Well, like when they kind of danced around the origins that didn't really turn out to pay, you know what I mean? That kind of subplot.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was like, haven't really seen this take.
Yeah.
But then they kind of dropped it.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know. I think what Todd Phillips thought he was doing and what he actually did were two different things. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to give it another chance because that and It Chapter 2 and Parasite are 3 movies that on paper I should love. And I came out of all 3 of those movies like, good.
Yeah.
Moving on. Is that just because there's so many things? Is that because
Joker had like such like meta contextual narrative like on top of it that like it crumpled under the weight of its own, place in society. I don't know. Whatever.
I gotta go back. Gotta go again.
Michael Seward, Wild Rose. Story about a troubled young Scottish woman who dreams of becoming a U.S. country singer. Brilliant performance from Jessie Buckley. I hadn't even heard of that one.
Wow.
Sounds pretty cool. Carl Williams. Favorite movie of 2019 is a tie between Endgame and Marriage Story. Like I said last year, it was when I said Infinity War was my favorite 2018 movie. If I liked Endgame, it was going to be my favorite of 2019 no matter what. Then I saw Marriage Story, and I was like, well, damn, I guess Endgame is going to have some company for the top spot. I love those two being tied with each other.
Those are in my top 5.
I've heard good things about Marriage Story. I just didn't care to watch it, but then, I don't know, I keep hearing about it, so I need to watch it, I like Adam Driver.
It grew on me even more. When I watched it, I was like, that was good. And then I kept thinking about that movie.
Really?
Kept thinking about it.
I got to see it. Yeah. Todd Kremer says, I always have trouble picking my favorite movies of the year, but I had the most fun in the theater with John Wick 3 and Ford vs. Ferrari and Endgame. Those are probably the ones I saw that benefited the most from a theatrical viewing as well. The best this year, I think, is Little Women. Despite not being a huge fan of Lady Bird, I was floored with how much I loved Gerwig's take on this book. It was just so goddamn wholesome the whole time. I loved Parasite, Uncut Gems, and Jojo Rabbit, but something about Little Women is going to keep me coming back for years to come. Little Women is one of my sister's favorites, and so I really want to see this one. I like Greta Gerwig. I loved Lady Bird.
Beth was named after Beth from Little Women.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. Gotta see it. Sam Sorensen says, Jojo Rabbit made me think and feel. We talked about this one at the wife's birthday dinner for a bit. Rocket Man was a musical I didn't expect. Knives Out is my favorite whodunit in a long time, but Booksmart takes the cake. Booksmart I missed.
I haven't seen any of those.
I didn't see Booksmart, but I want to. All right, and I ended each category with Tokyo Slim.
Nice.
Mainstay of our show. How you doing, Tokyo Slim? Hope you're doing well. Between A-list, private screenings, festival, preview, and press screenings and special events, I ended up seeing just over 300 movies in theaters this year. Here are his top 5s with brief comments. That's a lot of movies.
That is in the theater.
Not
just at home.
In theaters.
300 something like in a year at home and theater combined, I can see. But
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. I'm impressed. I am blown away by that number.
Number 1, Parasite, the good Joker origin story film of this year. Bong Joon-ho's story of class and wealth stratification makes some unexpected turns and delivers what, in my opinion, is actually maybe not only my top film of the year, but of the decade. Wow. Jojo Rabbit, on its face, a comedy film about Hitler Youth and Nazi Germany is a really tough sell for me. Me too. Taika Waititi is an insane genius, however, and not only was this a fantastic comedy, but unexpectedly poignant and touching in scenes as well. When people complain about not being able to make edgy comedies anymore, this film cements in my mind that they are probably just bad writers.
Yeah. If you can make a comedy about Hitler,
Yeah.
that's not offensive and funny, you're a genius.
Oh, this movie, I wanted to see this and I haven't yet. One Cut of the Dead.
I know, dude. What the hell?
I went into this movie 100% blind. I would recommend that anyone wanting to see it does the same. I'm not going to read the rest of that then because I want people to go
it's on
in blind.
It's on one of those horror streaming things, dude.
Shudder, probably.
Shudder, yeah. Shudder.
The Farewell, a really touching examination of family and culture. Excuse me. I think as a first-generation American-born Asian person, this might have had extra relevance and impact on me, but I think that you can still get a lot out of it even if you're not part of a family with radically different culture than that which you live in. Knives Out, number 5. I think this movie was being pre-hyped as similar to Clue, which it's not, but it is a great genre whodunit. Movie has fun interfamiliar sniping from an all-star cast and rewards multiple watchings to catch some of the nuances. Yeah, I bet it would. I really do. All right, next category is least favorite.
Ooh.
I'm going to go a little faster maybe, but
fire 'em off.
just because I don't like to dwell on negativity, much contrary to public opinion of me perhaps. Tim O'Keefe, Joker. I just really disliked this movie. I think the biggest issue I had was that it was that Joker never really felt like Joker to me. It was just a guy who had a really bad life and nothing he did on his way to becoming the Joker made him feel like the Joker. I sort of agree. Maybe that was my problem with it.
That's not a problem for me at all.
Adam Mulaney, least favorite was 6 Underground. I should know what I'm getting into with a Michael Bay by now, but I just won't learn. The guy is psychologically a 23-year-old cokehead, and he'll never change.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny.
I really like Ryan Reynolds.
Me too. I like the title because it puts that weird song in my head. Take me down, 6 Underground.
I haven't heard it.
It's like from the 90s or something. Virtual Self says Star Wars 9, just bad. Colt Smith, Hellboy, not because I thought it was terrible, but it wasn't, and I wanted. Oh, but it wasn't what I wanted, and definitely didn't have the charm and the life of the Del Toro films. Hellboy 2, the Del Toro Hellboy 2 is just so cool. Has so many cool costumes and stuff.
Oh man.
Silent Consonant, Brightburn. Did you have something to say, or that was it?
I was just
saying, oh man.
I want to hug Guillermo del Toro so badly.
I want you to hug Guillermo del Toro.
Shook his hand. That
was
cool. Yeah.
When?
Over at LACMA a couple years ago, he was
there.
Yeah, he was.
I went to that. It was great.
He had that, and then separately he was showing Crimson Peak.
Oh wow.
So I was like, hell yeah, I'll see Crimson Peak again. He's gonna be there, and then he does it. He does the Q&A, and he's trying to leave and everyone's like swarming him to get everything like signed, blah, 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 blah. And he's like on stage. He's kind of like leaning down, like doing shit. And I come up just off to the side. I'm like, Mr. Del Toro, just a handshake? Just a handshake? He is oh, yeah. Shook my hand. That's it. Boom. In
Beautiful.
and out. In and out.
Your skin has touched the skin of Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
I love that. I never knew that.
So stoked.
Silent Constant and Brightburn. This movie was just so terribly written. The character development isn't there. The message of this movie is a mess. It really feels like if they wrote What If Superman but evil on a piece of paper and called it a screenplay.
I don't know. I thought it was...
I've heard a few people say basically that.
I thought it was okay. Not great. I thought it was okay because it was like creepy in a realistic way, man. Like
I haven't seen it
he's
yet.
a little kid and he gets attracted to a little girl, like a high school girl.
Uh-oh.
And I think he's in high school.
No good ever comes of that.
So he has superpowers and he's like obsessed with this girl, dude. And it's freaky and creepy as hell and uncomfortable. I thought that movie was pretty decent.
Matt Hastings, The Dead Don't Die. Adam Driver and Bill Murray in a zombie comedy. How could this movie fail?
Yeah.
Make it a weird fourth wall breaking anti-consumer themed slog. Not sure what Jarmusch was thinking or going for, but I kind of hated it. I agree. That movie is terrible.
I heard it was so bad.
And I love Jim Jarmusch. Like, Only Lovers Left Alive is so good. Dead Man, Ghost Dog.
Everyone's got a... Everyone comes up Snake Eyes once in a while.
Yeah, but it's just so weird because this movie, it didn't even seem it wasn't even near clever. It just felt like a bad film school like screenplay.
Something went wrong.
Something went wrong. It felt very amateur and like really weird for Jim Jarmusch. Because usually his stuff is more like adult and nuanced.
Anything redeeming to take away from it?
Not really.
Was he trying to like say anything?
He was trying to say like consumerism is bad, but it's like it's not 2001, dude. Like we know. It felt like a movie out of like 1999. It was so weird.
It is weird.
Tilda Swinton was kind of funny, I guess. I don't know.
Love me some Adam Driver.
Yeah, well that's the thing. Everyone in it is amazing, but it's just like, oh my god. Yeah. Don't even try. It's not even worth it.
I'm more and more convinced Adam Driver is the actor of our generation now.
He was in like 80 movies this year.
Yeah. And what a wide range.
Yeah.
The man is amazing.
Yeah. Brian Cos, or some say Cosm. As far as least favorite goes, I went in completely ready to love Alita Battle Angel and kind of hated it. It's been a while since I saw it, but it's because of Hugo. But I remember the dialogue being a real sticking point for me. Just awful stuff that makes me not like any of the characters. Probably, Brian, you just mean Hugo is trash, probably is what.
Just Hugo's
Hugo's just total garbage.
I feel so bad. Yo, if you're the actor,
hey, it's
Hugo,
not his fault.
It's not you, man.
It's not his fault. That character just shouldn't exist. Alita doesn't need Hugo.
It's just so... It brings the movie down.
Way down. Also, like, her scene when she, like, tries to give him her heart is just so dumb and crazy.
Yeah. Dude, Alita's sick. Hey, little flea. Great villain. That villain is so sick. So anime.
Insane, dude. I mean, it's literally anime.
Yep. Dude, please, Alita 2. The last thing I heard about Alita 2 happening was that because of the goddamn Fox merger.
Oh, yeah. Sony just kind of... Or
Disney owns everything.
They're just like, no, get out.
Yeah, so the
get out.
Alita, the actress, was like, I don't really think Disney is concerned about Alita right now. If you want to be,
if we want to be honest,
yeah.
She loved it. I heard like the actor was having a blast. Megan Linhart, Lion King 2019. They wanted to give it a shake.
Yeah, me
too. But it was vapid, emotionless cash grab.
Wow, that was Favreau. Favreau had finally hit a miss, but I think it still made $1 billion. Do you think that's a win or a loss?
Here's the thing.
For a director, if they make complete, like Suicide Squad, right? Is that a win or a loss for David Ayer?
It depends. Like, this is a win for Favreau because it's not going to be a blemish on his career, I think. Whereas Suicide Squad could be.
Because I made over $1 billion.
But it's like, that's the thing. Like, everyone was saying, like, about JJ and whatever. It's like, why do these guys keep getting chances even though they're not good? And it's because they make money. Like, it doesn't matter if they're good. In fact, it might even be better if they're not thoughtful and interesting because it makes more money.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the test of time will show, like, how this trilogy of Star Wars, for example, probably won't live on as, like, a classic, like the original trilogy certainly is, like, hopefully that Disney takes a lesson out of that and doesn't just keep trying to print money.
Hot take. Star Wars 1 through 6, sci-fi fantasy. Star Wars 7 through 9, superheroes. They're superhero movies.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Kind of.
That's my take. 1 through 6, straight up science fiction fantasy. 7 through 9 obviously has sci-fi fantasy stuff in there, but it's way more in common with a superhero movie than to science fiction. And the old Star Wars movies are all about that sci-fi, all about like context, working governments, working droids, like give me all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's a scene in Revenge of the Sith. Remember when Grievous's ship is going down and they're like, fire the boosters, blah, blah, blah. And it's like all this 45 seconds of like showing the boosters lock in and like the science of it, dude.
Yeah.
When the ship's crash landing on the planet and all the fire ships come to like shoot the fire out as it's landing, like world building, dude.
Yeah.
So cool.
This isn't my joke. I can't remember. I saw a video that said this, but they were like, about 9. They were like, the first movie written by Reddit.
Written and directed by Reddit.
Written and directed by Reddit.
I saw that.
Truer words. Varen Kuchwaha, least favorite, It, Chapter 2.
Oh, yeah. What do they say about it?
This was easy. It Chapter 2 is easily the worst film I saw in the cinema. It just felt like it was a compilation of horror scene after horror scene, and none of them were scary because CGI was so used so much that none of the monsters looked even plausibly real. A joke after every tense scene, none of the charm of the original, nothing added to the original story, just a pointless film.
Ouch. You know, that's why I think I like so many movies, Ian.
Uh-huh.
Is because I see what's wrong with it, but the intent is good.
Sure.
So then it makes me like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It Chapter 2, non-spoilers, there's a scene early on where they're like, all right, like, everyone go take care of your thing and then meet back here, right?
Yeah.
So that translates to a movie of like, okay, 20 minutes with you, now 20 minutes with you, now 20 minutes with you.
Right.
And like, that's so tiring.
Yeah.
And then by the time they get back to like, in the movie, they all come together again. And then it's like, wait, what were we doing?
Right.
Because that was an hour and a half ago.
You should watch Cats.
That's funny. So it's like that intent is the narrative intent is there of like, yo, we're trying to tell each person's story.
Right.
But it came off cumbersome and heavy. It came off heavy.
Yeah. Vignettes like that. I mean, assuming that's how it kind of is laid out.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pull off in a way that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough.
Yeah. I remember that was one of my main problems coming out of it. Because I remember that it's like, all right, we're all back together. And it's like literally in the theater, because I saw it alone, I was like, wait, what were they all doing?
Like literally you were the only person in the theater?
Oh, no, there were like a couple
okay.
One of the best people ever, there was this solo dude off to the right. And when Stephen King makes a cameo, spoilers, he goes, the guy in the theater, Stephen King comes up and the guy just goes, ha! Just one loud, audible.
I've definitely done that accidentally, not on purpose. I think I did a couple of those in Star Wars. Yeah. I can't stop talking about Star Wars, even though I never want to. I'm sorry. It's just because it's so fresh in our minds right now.
It's a big
thing. Zeitgeist. Yeah.
The Skywalker saga. It's over.
Is it?
Probably not.
Michael Seward, X-Men Dark Phoenix, just uninspired and dull. So many great actors underused.
I liked it. Saw it on demand after the fact. I'm not even kidding. I watched this on demand.
It'd be a good plane movie. Oh, yeah, I saw Hobbs and Shaw on a plane the other day.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's kind of fun. You'll dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious is a little tough for me because my bro. So I've been kind of...
It has very little Fast and Furious kind of in it.
My brother would have been pissed about the movie even existing because we liked the street racing of the originals, which is long gone.
Long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a superhero movie.
Yeah, right.
Literal superheroes.
Idris Elba, like, cable, metal arms, right?
Black Superman, yeah.
Does he turn into a car?
No.
Okay. Does he turn into a motorcycle?
His motorcycle is basically a transformer, but he doesn't turn into the motorcycle.
Okay.
But the motorcycles are very cool.
Awesome.
They're like weird. I think they're Triumph motorcycles, but they're like, they can like rotate and they're all crazy.
Nice.
They're like something out of iRobot or something.
Very cool.
It's cool.
I gotta watch it.
Carl Williams' least favorite movie 2019, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Sorry, Sophia.
Ouch. Yeah, it was okay.
Tokyo Slim checks notes.
Really quick shout out to Sophie Turner in X-Men Dark Phoenix. I'm not even kidding.
She did a great job with a bad script.
Yeah. I felt her emotion the whole way through.
Yeah.
I really wanted to shout that out because I was
Just
talking to Jones about it.
The villain was so weird in that.
Yeah.
And like everything was so weird about it.
Yeah, not a good movie.
And like that's another one where
it.
it was very clear. Game of Thrones season 8, like it was so clear that Jennifer Lawrence just wanted out of there.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was palpable.
No part of it.
It has been palpable for a few movies, but this one it was just like, my God.
Yeah.
So like she barely even came on set, it seemed like. It was amazing. I was like, wow, you hate this.
Yeah.
Tokyo Slim says, checks notes. 47 Meters Down Uncaged was my lowest rated theatrical released film this year. I don't even know what that is.
The
like
sequel
a shark movie?
to The Shark, yeah. There's actually a couple shark movies I haven't seen. Oh, Crawl! Shout out to Crawl.
The Gator movie?
Yeah.
Did that come out this year?
2019.
Wow.
That was one of the best horror movies of the year, no doubt.
All right. Even faster now. Best actor, any gender, Megan Linehart, Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, Virtual Self 11, Antonio Banderas in Almodovar's Pain and Glory. I may be biased because I worked in this film. Lol. That's cool. But his work acting as Almodovar is just crazy, and seeing the international recognition he is having just makes me so happy. Really hoping he gets an Oscar. Please, Ian, I know you like Pedro, so watch this film if you have not. It's his best work of the last years. I have not seen this one yet. I missed it while it was in theaters. But yeah, I really want to see it. I do like Almodovar. Cool that you worked with Almodovar. That's so cool. Almodovar. I'd probably say his name wrong. Michael Seward, Taron Egerton as Elton John in Rocket Man. Carl Williams, Adam Driver. Colt Smith. There were a ton of standout performances. Robert Pattinson in Lighthouse, both Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein in Booksmart, Keanu in John Wick 3, Joe Pesci for going against type in The Irishman, and the list goes on. Tim O'Keefe, Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse, just an incredible performance. There were specific scenes, without spoiling, where Dafoe is just amazing in what must have been difficult conditions, yes. Zach Wojnar, the best actor of the year is Edward Norton for his performance in Alita Battle Angel. Just kidding. For his role in Motherless Brooklyn, which I didn't see. I forgot about that movie.
I heard it was.
You heard it was bad?
But if they liked it.
Who knows? Apparently he plays a Tourette's-stricken private eye who investigates the murder of his friend in 1950s New York. Matt Hastings says, Brad Pitt, let's give this man an Oscar already. He deserves it. Between Ad Astra and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he really had a stellar year. His performances aren't flashy, but he's just getting better.
God, he was good in that movie.
Both of them. I liked him in both. Would you kindly, as Joaquin Phoenix is obvious choice, I will choose Brad Pitt for Ad Astra or Once Upon. Hey. Specifically that shirtless antenna scene. Todd Kremer, Florence Pugh for not a single performance, but between Midsummer and Little Women, I don't think anyone has given better performances this year. She just knocks it out of the park, and I'm hyped for Black Widow almost solely because she's in it. I concur. Her performance in Midsummer is very, very good.
Really good.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Like, yeah.
It would be my favorite if it weren't for Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story.
Oh, she did a good job?
Next level for me.
Wow.
Next level.
Good. Tokyo Slim, I didn't particularly enjoy The Lighthouse, but both Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson did great. Eddie Murphy in Dolomite Is My Name is also a great return to form for him, I think. Awkwafina in The Farewell, though I think maybe she was playing her within her comfort zone. Samara Weaving in Ready or Not, one of the tightest, best-paced movies of the year, in Tokyo Slim's opinion, shows her budding superstar chops in both comedy, action, and horror, and J-Lo in Hustlers. I actually really liked Ready or Not, too. It was kind of fun.
I need to see that one.
it's just, I mean, it just is what it is. It's one of those movies where it's just
what it is.
It is what it is. And it's fun and good and just a crazy little movie, and then you go home.
It is what it is.
Love a good one of those. Best director, Megan Linhart, Robert Eggers. It just amazes me that this director is only on his second film. The Lighthouse felt like a film made by someone who has mastered their craft. Everything is so deliberate and so thought out. The Witch was very much the same boat. The Safdie brothers are a close second with Uncut Gems. Anything these guys do is just amazing. I kind of agree, I think, personally. Matt Hastings says Taika Waititi. Virtual Self, Bong Joon-ho, and Almodovar. True auteurs. Tim O'Keefe, Robert Eggers. Same stuff. Adam Mulaney, Best Director, goes to Sam Mendes for 1917. Anyone who has seen it will understand. Mm-hmm. This movie is not only a technical masterpiece, but to wrap a relevant, fascinating, and heart-pounding story around that technical wizardry has to be applauded. That makes me very curious to see that movie. Haven't had a chance yet. Colt Smith, Ryan Johnson for turning in the best mystery film I have seen in ages. Beautifully shot, expertly paced, impeccably written. Took me back to how much I loved Brick. Agreed. I just watched Brick the other day too, and I really like that one.
That's a good one.
Would You Kindly, Noah Baumbach, Marriage Story, and Jonah Hogg, The Souvenir. The latter is an amazing relationship story set in London's 80s. Zach Wojnar, for Best Director, I'm making a surprise shout-out to Gideon Raff for his work on the Netflix film The Red Sea Diving Resort. The movie didn't make as big a splash, is that a joke, as I think some were hoping, but I found it nothing less than magical how Raff was able to balance the jolly spy heist tone against the very real politics and war crimes that these agents were sent in to investigate. I think some people might still think it's a schizophrenic mess, but it clicked with me, and I'd like to think I'm not the only one. Michael Seward, Dexter Fletcher, after all of the BS of Dexter not getting the directional credit for Bohemian Rhapsody after Bryan Singer was fired, he knocks it out of the park with Rocket Man. Nice. Todd Kremer says Bong Joon-ho, Parasite, hit all the right emotional and aesthetic notes, and a big part of that is how capable of a director he is. He does seem to be a really good director.
Yeah.
Tokyo Slim, I feel like Bong Joon-ho took a huge step forward this year with Parasite. Best Screenplay.
Damn, nobody said Tarantino.
Yeah. Best Screenplay, Megan Linhart says Parasite. Colt Smith says The Lighthouse, Under the Silver Lake, or Knives Out. Matt Hastings says Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and says give him an Oscar. Yeah. Virtual Self 11, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, dude.
Tim O'Keefe, Knives Out. Would You Kindly, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Chernobyl, even though it's a TV show. But that's okay. Michael Seward, Knives Out. Let's have some more Benoit Blanc. I do declare. Todd Kramer, other people have mentioned it as well, but Knives Out. He also says that not only does it have twists and turns, but Ryan Johnson's prose in the screenplay form is delightful to read. It's carefully constructed on the page and surgically executed in the final form. If you don't read the PDFs they release for awards season, you're missing out. Interesting to get an opinion from someone who's read the screenplay too. Tokyo Slim says, I either think Knives Out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Ready or Not are my top three this year. Cinematography, best Megan Linhart says The Lighthouse. Tim O'Keefe says Ad Astra. Varun Kuchwaha says The Lighthouse. Colt Smith says Shadow or 1917. What is Shadow? It's
like a feudal Japan. Yeah. They have
cool.
Like really cool umbrella blades.
Oh, I've got to see that one. Silent Consonant says Parasite. And then shouts out the scenes of the family running down the flooded steps. Really good part.
Dude,
yeah, that part.
Some of my favorite images of the year.
Yeah,
Parasite.
Parasite is
no doubt.
And it's like understated, but it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good movie. Would You Kindly says Jasper Wolf for Manos. Morgan Mahala. John Wick. Couldn't Stop Grinning, the whole movie. Todd Kremer. Uncut Gems. Tokyo Slim. I think the racing sequences in Ford v Ferrari, while admittedly owing a lot to the style pioneered by John Frankenheimer, were pretty amazing. Varun Kuchwaha added a category of best score for Ad Astra.
Nice.
And they say, sorry, I know this isn't a section, but I just had to put it in there that Ad Astra had one of the best scores I've heard in a long time. It's so good that I would feel bad if it didn't mention it just once. Just absolutely unique and something that I could listen to all day. Just incredible. Also, shout out to I Lost My Body. That score will stay with me for a long time. Such a unique sound, and I think Ian would like it. I'll have to check that out. It's funny, the score for Ad Astra, I've told this story before, but Brad Pitt was sitting behind me at a Nils Fram concert, which was mind-blowing. But there was a song that Nils Fram started, and I heard Brad Pitt go, yeah. And that song, I think, is in Ad Astra. That very song.
It's a funny shit I've ever heard. Brad Pitt seems all right.
Brad Pitt does seem
like an all right dude, man.
Yeah. Zach Wojnar also added a category of biggest surprise, and the biggest surprise.
Hot take. Surprises bother me.
Oh,
in this sense, like I always am offended when I read a review, and somebody says surprisingly heartfelt.
Oh, sure.
To me, that means they were dismissing the movie to begin with.
Right.
That they're surprised that, oh, this movie's actually heartfelt.
Right.
So I don't know, dude. It's just my own weird personal hot take is that's always bothered me like my whole life. When I've early started reading reviews and wanted to get into them.
Yeah.
Surprisingly amount of depth. Surprisingly amount of emotion. Like,
yeah.
Is that just me, dude?
No, I mean, I haven't personally thought about that, but you're totally right. It betrays that they're coming in with some kind of a read. Well, this is the kind of surprise I think you like.
Okay.
Zach Wojnar says, my biggest surprise of the year was Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Nice. It's hard to be self-aware and good-natured at the same time, but Dora makes it look easy. It's just a jolly ride full of heart, adventure, and comedy, and I was so glad I took a chance on it. Love that.
That is very cool.
I asked one question to the patrons, but I think I'll just hear what you have to say about it, Huber. What'd you think of 2019?
Films?
Yeah.
Very solid.
Yeah?
A strong 8 or 8.5 out of 10 if we're going by the whole year. A couple things I've missed.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to love 1917.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like it.
I feel like JoJo would be amazing. And I
think
really
you'll like
dig
JoJo.
It. Like, there's a couple holes that I need to plug, but in terms of everything I've seen from comedies, drama, horror, franchise budget, indie, historical, the whole catalog of genres was hit with quality films. I really liked it.
We were talking about this a little beforehand, both with films and games before we started filming. And I was saying that I have a tendency, I think, to look at each year in a context of like all time. Yeah. So it's like, I feel disappointed in a year in gaming or movies where like there wasn't a game that came out or a movie that came out that I think is like one of the greatest of all time.
We didn't get a No Country for Old Men.
Right, we didn't get a No Country for Old Men this year. We didn't get a Paddington 2. It's a failure of a year. And I think I need to divorce myself from that line of thinking, because I think it's not fair, and it's less fun to think that way. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
we got the No Country of like Hollywood blockbusters to me in Avengers Endgame.
The fact that they paid off Endgame and it didn't suck to me is a huge victory this year. Yeah. But yeah, I think if I take that hat off and just put on like a enjoying movies for the hell of it, because that's what you're supposed to do hat. Yeah, I think this year was fairly solid. Like none of the movies I wanted to love did I love to the extent I wanted to love them. But there were a lot that I think were really solid. Yeah. Yeah, so decent year.
And it was really nice, actually, being able to go to the theater and watch some movies on Netflix at home.
Yes. Big year for streaming.
Like, being able to just throw on The Irishman, 4-hour movie, just in the comfort of my own home was just so pleasant. Marriage Story as well, just being able to watch with my wife at home and doing that. Well, I never thought I'd say that, because I love the theater. You love the theater, yeah. I love the movie theater.
Is this the year that you stopped buying everything physical too?
Yeah.
Big year for you.
Times are changing.
The times they are a-changing.
So I think I'm at a point now where it's like if a movie's not from one of my favorite directors or if it's not special effects driven, I'll watch it at home, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, some movies
if it's available, if it's the
a
option.
better option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Like if
it's
Marriage
better.
Story was only playing in theaters, I would
Right.
still go to the theater to see it.
Right. But that's a
now-
movie that it's not hurt by watching. It's probably even helped maybe by
Watching it in the home
Yeah.
with the wife was this.
yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple parts when we were just like, I love you.
I'm sorry. All right, Tokyo Slim is back with the quote challenge.
Oh shit.
So we don't have to think about him ourselves anymore. Cool. He'll do it for us. They missed it for last month, but here we go. I got 2 correct, apparently 2 months ago, and you got 1 correct.
Okay.
The ones that were missed were I Want to Eat Something That's Alive, which is from Old Boy.
Shit.
And Hello, Vinny, It's Your Uncle Bingo, Time to Pay the Check. That's from Batman 89. Batman.
Burton's Batman?
Yeah. Hello, Vinny, it's your Uncle Bingo. Time to pay the check. I'm assuming Joker says that.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, this month, here we go.
Okay.
All right, I know this first one. Number 1, this magnificent feast here represents the last of the petty cash. I know this one.
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead?
Sadly, no. Oh, it's Ghostbusters.
Dang it.
2.
Because petty cash. There's a plot line in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead about petty cash. Damn it.
All right, I know this one too. Flames! Flames on the sides of my face.
This is like Monty Python or something.
Kind of close. I mentioned this and one other person
Robin Hood
mentioned
Men in
this
Tights.
in this episode. When
Damn
it was
it.
mentioned.
I don't know.
Think Knives Out.
Brick.
Nope. Also 1 syllable.
I don't know.
Clue.
Clue, damn it. Okay.
3. This sounds so familiar, but I'm not sure. Marriage is a punishment for shoplifting in some countries. Oh, that sounds so familiar.
Like Raising Arizona or something. I don't know.
Oh man, what is that? It's gonna eat at me.
I don't
That
even
sounds
know.
familiar. We'll
God,
find out next
these
month.
are
We don't know.
tough.
4. You people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. If we're not back by dawn, call the president.
Red Dawn.
You people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. If we're not back by dawn, call the president.
I'm saying Red Dawn.
I want to say like,
oh god.
yeah, some kind of like,
Air Force One or some shit.
or like Independence Day 2 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And then 5, it comes in pints. I'm getting one. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember which one.
Oh, that's on the tip of my tongue, dude. This one hurts. This one's gonna eat me. Do you know it? I don't know this,
It comes
but I
in
know it.
pints. Oh, I think that's how he says it.
Tell me.
It comes in pints.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I think it's Fellowship of the Ring. Might be one of the second or third one, but I think
now I'm
it's
wrong.
Mary or Pippin says it. I think in the
Fellowship.
bar.
It's fellowship. It's fellowship. It's fellowship.
Yeah, he goes. It comes in pints.
Yep.
I'm getting one.
I'm getting it. Yep. Totally. Fellowship. Yep. Yep. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we did it.
Okay.
3 out of 5.
Good lord.
Find out next month what marriage is a punishment for shoplifting in some countries and call the president are from.
The president.
Next month, gird your loins, Ubisoft. Gird your damn loins. Because we're doing the whole blasted decade
Endgame.
next month.
Endgame.
Endgame?
Endgame.
Best movie of the entire decade.
Best movie of
Hubert.
my life.
Better than Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Payoffs, baby.
I guess. I like
Payoffs.
Infinity War better.
Avengers Assemble.
True. A sterling moment in cinema history.
And the final dance.
Yeah. Well, I guess spoilers. It's Endgame for
It's been
Hubert.
a long time.
But next month we're gonna go through the best movies of the decade. But we have a little homework for this one.
it might not be my number one, but we'll see.
This time we leaned heavily on the patrons, which we will do again. I think the prompt for this next month will literally just be a list of the years, and I want the patrons to just say their one favorite movie from every year, probably. But I want us to do that too.
Nice.
So I want us to come up with our favorite I don't know. Should it just be one or should it be like 2 or 3 of each year? It's homework. It's going to be tough. But yeah.
I want to say one and an honorable mention.
Sure. Okay. We'll do one and an honorable mention.
Okay.
And then we'll see how the numbers work out from the patrons. And maybe we'll have an overall winner. Who knows?
Nice.
For the whole decade. But yeah, decade means, I guess in this case, 2010 through 19.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see which year has the most shout-outs. Well, no, that won't work if everyone has to do one for every year.
Yeah.
Because that's something I'm interested in, though. Like, which year was better? Mm-hmm. You know?
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men. That was 2007. Those are both 2007. Do not qualify
best
for this
of all time.
decade. Yeah. We'll put them in. We'll
the
put them in.
best duo ever of films.
Yeah, so 2007, and then skip 8 and 9, and then 10 through 19. If I hear any of you people shouting out Juno, I swear to God. Anyways, speaking of shout-outs, the shout-outs for January 2020 are L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi. Thank you very much to them. If you are interested in what I'm talking about, check out our patreon.com/easyallies. Our patreon.com/easyallies is how we are funded primarily. A little bit of money comes from ads and Twitch and all that kind of stuff, but the lion's share comes from beautiful people just like you who feed us. And we are very appreciative, even though sometimes easy update videos are strange and it might seem like I'm not taking this seriously. I assure you that I am.
Yes.
And I love all of you, and thank you very much for your support because we depend on it. So check out patreon.com/easyallies. There is a shout-out tier on there. That's why those guys just got shouted out. Guys in the royal sense.
Shout out.
Individuals. Shout out. But check out youtube.com/easyallies. This podcast is on Spotify now because I didn't realize that it wasn't before.
Oh. Shit.
And it is now.
Nice.
Sorry about that. Here we are. Sorry for the delay. 2020. But anyway, thanks, Huber. Thank you, everyone who left a comment. If you want to get in on that, that's the $7 and up film club tier on patreon.com/easyallies, where you can join in on the discussion topic of every month and have a fun conversation with us and with each other. It's good time.
Did you have a guilty pleasure of 2019 to end it?
Huh.
Shout out to a guilty pleasure.
I mean, Alita Battle Angel might qualify.
You're right. That's the one. You're right. Yep. That's
think,
it, Ian. That nailed it. You nailed it. That's the one. That's the Pacific Rim 2 of 2019.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Where it's like, I acknowledge, like, this is deeply not great, but I'm having a blast. Yep.
I compared episode 9 to Pacific Rim 2.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed both.
So just a corporate cash grab with no heart.
I enjoyed both immensely in the theater.
Not planned out, not originally intended in the original thought process in any way.
Same category.
Beat for beat garbage. Anyway, thanks everybody. We will see you again next month to talk about the greatest films of this decade. Strap in.
Will any Star Wars movies be on that list?
No.